Ryze is the problem that Riot Games just can't solve. He's a champion they can't seem to get right, no matter what they do to him.
Anyway, let's move on to the, 7th or whatever Ryze rework.
They make the same mistakes again and again.
But they are one man down. There goes Cloud. It's a 4-on-4 so far. Goal's going to come around the side. Right got on the double kill comes out. Going is absolutely wrecking through this team.
Take a look at that stat with 2 Dragon averages. Rockets usually want to take one a lot later, and Fnatic, well, they're the ones who couldn't contest this time around. Meanwhile, though, Steve is getting chunked out by Huni, who's finally gotten rolling, and he's stunned up after the flash. Huni follows him through and solos him down.
Huni. What the hell just happened?
This Ryze is insane, dude.
Just as TSM got the Baron before, it's kind of one for the other, and they have to get
They gotta go. They're gonna try to end the game here so quickly. They're gonna try to actually stop a Hunts. They're gonna try to stop the backs and chase them down. They have to walk all the way up here.
He's gonna find Golden Glue. They are playing stop the back game. Now onto the Nexus turrets. Realm Warp has been the key for TSM this game. They're on the Nexus turret. Turtle's gonna be the first one. It's not even a chance to stop it.
And for the last decade, Ryze has terrorized the League of Legends balance team. Ryze is one of the most iconic champions in League of Legends. He's been one of the game's main mascots since launch, which makes sense given he's named after one of Riot's co-founders. Ryze has also become synonymous with Faker, one of the best League of Legends players of all time.
Or just let it fall.
A little more ambitious as well in front of the turret. Frozen very, very low. Goes down himself. Stonemage, one last shot. Faker gets the double kill in. Gets himself out of turret range along with ambition.
But Ryze has also been a terror to balance for as long as Riot can remember. When Riot has a problem with a champion, they'll buff or nerf them, changing small things to fix their win rate. But when the champion design itself is a problem, they'll rework that champion, completely rebuilding them from the ground up. Ryze has been reworked 6 times, more than any other champion in the game. But the first couple of reworks were pretty understandable, given how absurdly broken champions were back in 2009. Old school League players who started around Season 2 actually first encountered the 3rd iteration of Ryze, which means that Riot had to completely rip them apart twice just to create something that was remotely fair to play against. Many fans consider Season 2 Ryze to be the original Ryze. He was the classic scaling hypercarry. Play safe early, get your Rod of Ages and Archangel Staff, and become an AoE damage-dealing monster. He was a deadly champion when piloted by the best, especially in pro play.
What is going to happen? Oh, there. He shoots it. Davis is on a killing spree, but Elements could be taken out. Elements is solo, so is Chaos. Chaos has one taken out. He is life killing everything. He is taking Elements out, and that is a shutdown. Original on the same business.
Ryze floated in and out of the meta, though he could always be relied on as a pocket pick in a pinch. But at the 2014 World Championship, Ryze became a premier pick once again, just not anywhere anyone expected. Ryze dominated the top lane.
Careful, is it a 4-on-1 now? They pulled him in. In comes Going though. In goes Goog. Going gets himself in there. Goog's the focus. There's going to be Sun going down. Have they got enough damage? This is a tricky fight for OMG. But again, Going has so much damage. He just tanks them for days. Watts gets flanked out. One more shot. London gets in. Gets the reset. Jumps back around. Saving trouble. He's going down. The Aqua Piston's not going to be enough to save. Oh, he got the kill. He's got Gorilla as well. And OMG clean up with a 4-for-1 fight.
They are going to be singing Going's praises for a long time here.
But OMG, they take themselves a Nexus. They're going to go on this one. What? Oh! It is once again the Going show. And he goes in. Zephyr out. No. QSS not going to be enough. Doesn't matter. Doesn't care. It's Going that gets himself saved. OMG chants come on and ring around in Korea as they take down the Nexus turret. They turn on Zephyr. They take down Zephyr. Goog pulls them in, but it's not enough. It's going to be a 3-0 clean sweep, ladies and gentlemen. OMG have done it.
Ryze was too powerful, so Riot nerfed his overload ability, and the pros basically dropped him entirely. He barely saw play in spring. See, this is where the problems with Ryze really began. Riot doesn't want to have this situation where if they nerf Ryze he becomes unplayable, because then they basically have a blank spot on the character select screen. And they can't just buff him because then he'd be broken again, which would also be bad for the game. That leaves a rework as the only option, and that's a ton of effort and usually doesn't go so great with Ryze. The 2015 rework focused on giving him more interesting windows of power, based around his new Arcane Mastery passive. Ryze gained a stack of Arcane Mastery every time he cast an ability, and at 5 stacks, he became supercharged, gaining a shield while his ability cooldowns became basically 0. Unfortunately, this all turned out to be stupidly broken, and fans refer to this iteration of Ryze as Machine Gun Ryze.
Machine gun activated. Machine gun is out, boys.
Ryze was the most picked and banned top laner across all major regions that summer, according to Leaguepedia, and for good reason. He was busted.
Take a look at that stat with the 2 Dragon averages. Rockets usually want to take one a lot later, and Fnatic, well, they're the ones who couldn't contest this time around. Meanwhile, though, Steve is getting chunked out by Huni, who's finally gotten rolling, and he's stunned up after the flash. Huni follows him through and solos him down.
Huni. What the hell just happened?
The Ryze craze cooled down after playoffs, but at Worlds, Faker reminded everyone just how broken the champion could be.
Then this poor Gnar top lane right now. Mid lane turret also goes down. The flash engage from Faker.
Yeah, there's the Rune Prison in there. All of the spells, all of the time. Faker, the 1v1 against Pawn.
Watching Faker win a world championship with Ryze made mid laners around the world start spamming the champion. By spring playoffs, Ryze once again had a 100% pick ban rate in China and Korea, and North America and Europe were not far behind. And that trend continued into MSI.
Because of the immediacy of that Baron Reaper.
Here comes Huni at the speed of light and blitzes down MMG. That could be a whole lot more. There's still 20-second respawn timers on 3.
CLG are looking to push into this base. I mean, sure, Smithy's down, but it's still only 2 members, and neither have wave clear.
Flash route onto NL, and it's practically the solo kill. Darshan comes in at the last second, but that was all Huhi's doing.
As Ryze ravaged pro play, Riot had to consider the monster they'd created. Nerfs were not doing anything anymore, and he needed another rework. Ryze's 5th rework came in June 2016, just over a year after his last one. But this time, the reason behind it wasn't as simple as him just being too OP. See, Ryze actually had a pretty healthy 50% win rate in solo queue. Riot's problem was Ryze's incredible skill ceiling and the insane disparity between playing him in pro play and solo queue. For then Riot champion designer David Capurro, the goal was to keep his high skill ceiling while still making anyone able to pick up and play Ryze. To do this, Ryze's new rework ditched the Arcane Mastery stacking and stripped a lot of the cooldown reduction out of his kit. In addition to tweaks to his Q, W, and E, Ryze's new passive gave bonus damage based on his mana, and his new ult, Realm Warp, created a portal which could teleport Ryze and his teammates to a different part of the map.
Picks up Elder Dragon for the team. Damage now on the Haunter in the back. It's Sven Garen going down now. Piglet has fallen. The AD damage is gone. And they've gotten the Dragon just as TSM got the Baron before. It's kind of one for the other, and they have to get back to their
They gotta go.
base.
They're gonna try to end the game here so quickly. They're gonna try to actually stop a Haunter's gonna try to stop the backs and chase them down. They have to walk all the way up here.
He's gonna find Golden Glue. They are playing stop the back game. Now onto the Nexus turrets. Realm Warp has been the key for TSM this game. They're on the Nexus turret. Turtle's gonna be the first one. It's not even a chance to stop it.
After the rework, Ryze's priority calmed down. He was pretty stable for the rest of 2016 and most of 2017. I say most because after Riot decided to buff him for some reason, Ryze was once again at the top of mid laners' priority picks for Worlds 2017.
Knowing with a zillion ultimate, just letting it rip. Redemption down, saves the back end of the fight, but can't. Respawn might save the other end of it. BDD kill to Optimus. Archie's gonna go down. Lost ace! What a play, they'll find the ace. Levi respawn to the GM, but that's not enough.
Ignar is in the back. Bang has to retreat from the fight. They're able to take down Max Lore. They didn't have minions when they started the fight, and they didn't get much damage onto the turret. Still trying to turn. They keep losing members. Faker tries to go to the back as Ignar stops him with what he can.
In 2018, Ryze got even stronger with the introduction of the new Stopwatch rune, which combined with his ultimate basically gave Ryze a free get out of jail card at level 6.
As well, Ryze in some trouble. Shockwave brings him back. Xiaohu tries to turn this one around with me. Tom Kench coming into the mid lane as well. Brings in Jackie Love. Xiaohu will be able to portal away. Ming now the one that's in trouble, but it gets taken back by the Ryze ultimate. RNG disengage.
And Ming's able to get out as well simply because Xiaohu is untargetable. That's the strength of Stopwatch Ryze. There's no counterplay.
Even after nerfing that, Ryze remained a strong pick for the 2018 and 2019 season, and the disparity between Ryze in pro play and solo queue continued to widen. Even though the explicit goal of the 2016 rework was to fix this, there was still a huge difference between a top-level Ryze and the average player's Ryze.
So this is pretty big. Let's go through them all. And essentially, Ryze has the problem of, and has for a very long time had the problem of, is great in pro, is not great in solo queue. And so they want to essentially reshape the champion.
So in June 2019, Ryze got hit with his 6th rework. And at this point, even Riot were memeing on it, because presumably the jokes helped them deal with the pain of the monster they'd created. The goal of this rework was to nerf the things that made Ryze too good in pro play and buff the things that would make him good in solo queue. This resulted in Ryze losing his rune shield, which is what made him harder to kill in teamfights, and gaining a spell flux that always bounced, which made it easier to hit his combos. This all proved successful on the solo queue front, leaving Riot questioning if any more changes were even needed.
So the goal, we know that Ryze is generally down like 3% in elite and up in lower elos. Like we know the direction was right. I guess we're just curious of the magnitude because
we're curious basically if there's a correlation, if the correlation is strong between elite performance in solo queue and playability in pro.
Despite an initial decline in pick rate after these changes, Ryze once again returned for his yearly soiree at the 2019 World Championship, ending the tournament as the most played mid lane champion.
Now Tia's the target, dashes forward, Reckless is on the board, he gets the first of the fray, but it's at the cost of Nemesis's life. He didn't use the flash, Reckless gets over the wall, and now the chase back. Chris continues to move forward as Doinby gets himself a kill onto Popo. The Kale ultimate did not come down.
Sadly for Ryze, that was his last time in the spotlight, at least for a while. He basically disappeared from pro play in 2020. Though, as LS explained in his patch rundown series, that had a lot more to do with the meta than with Ryze himself.
And when you have champions that counter him, like Orianna and just other stat check mages in mid, that make it really problematic for him to teamfight, and when more and more range is getting added basically to the game because of the champions being picked inside of the meta, then Ryze also begins to get hurt there. And if we have a lot of these melee, teamfight, group, clumpy champions getting nerfed over time, it just begins to hit him even more, so he's not really getting any damage.
The fact that Ryze isn't broken right now does not mean he's gone forever though. Ryze is like a living piece of code. He will always find some way to get busted, even if Riot never intended it. And hey, now we're in 2021. New season, new items, new meta. If the last couple of years have taught us anything, it's that Ryze always comes back. Let's just hope he doesn't bring his 7th rework along with him. Neeko's a very interesting champion design. I love the thing where she splits into two and like and I like that she looks like other champions. Like it's all good shit. It reminds me of what's that Pokemon called? Zoroark, because its ability makes it look like another Pokemon, but when it comes out, until you hit it.
That's past my era.
It was like very interesting competitively for like a hot minute, I think.